for each house.
Did he allow you to go with us?
No, but I was not necessary to be there in his opinion.
Did you have any guarantee from your husband that he was going to allow that appraiser into these rental homes?
There is always a possibility that my husband will change his mind.
Right. And I explained that to you, didn't I?
That my husband will change his mind.
Yes.
This is a critical moment, and legally, it matters more than it might sound. What she's describing here is a retroactive appraisal problem, valuing property from a time period that legally doesn't apply to marital division. In Michigan divorce law, premarital property generally isn't split unless there's appreciation tied to the marriage itself. The mediator later confirms this when they reject the 2014 valuation outright. So from the client's perspective, she's saying she paid thousands for an appraisal strategy that couldn't even be used. That raises a serious question for viewers. If you're not a lawyer, how are you supposed to know when a legal strategy is ineffective? And should the financial risk fall on the client when it fails?
I don't remember you explaining me this, but okay.
I appeared at your house on Rosio. The appraiser was there. You were standing outside the front door, and your husband was standing outside the front door. Remember that
It
morning?
was inside our house, not outside the front
When I
door.
appeared.
It was allowed by me in my house, and he was inside the house, so it's incorrect.
Did you have any objection to me being there that morning? Did you say, go home, Paul?
I had objection prior to you to come into my house. But you came anyway.
Okay.
Because you love the Brazil and you wanted to see a Brazil.
And I went to the 6 rental homes with your husband and the appraiser, correct?
I don't know what you did after you leave the house. I didn't
Then-
talk with you.
Then you discharged me. Said, stop work.
I discharged you on April 16, 2025.
I need that. Send me an email at 10 o'clock at night or something. Stop work.
No, not 10 o'clock after our conversation.
You sent me an email. Stop work.
Zach,
And did I respect your instruction? Did I stop work?
you ignored my email. I have to send you a second email, and you responded to my second email.
And I responded by copying my entire file, correct?
You responded to me, you said, I received your email, I will stop working for you. But it was answered on my second email.
And I
Not my
did.
first email.
I copied my entire file, correct?
You didn't give me anything.
I sent it to your attorney, didn't I? Lisa Efros.
Lisa Efros, not my attorney. Lisa Efros is my husband's attorney.
I'm sorry, your new attorney.
Who was your new attorney, ma'am?
Michigan law, Derek Jacks.
Derek Jacks?
Yes. You sent the whole file to my address in Grosville, and on the top of that file was your complaint for this court.
Yeah, April 17th.
You didn't give it to me personally. You didn't send this to my attorney. You sent this to me by mail.
You haven't paid the balance of the fees on that final statement, have you?
That additional fee that you imposed, no, I did not.
And I've asked you to pay it, haven't you? Haven't I?
You asked through the complaint with this honorable court. And today we're here on a trial.
And I served you with it, correct?
You served me with a complaint, yes.
So you know that I've asked you to pay the money.
And I answered to your complaint and I filed counter complaint for monetary damage.
I have no further questions on this, Sharon.
Okay, now you can tell me whatever you'd like to say as long as it's relevant.
I have my little paper.
I'm sorry, what did you ask?
Can I have my paper?
Well, you can't just read off of a piece.
No, I will not read.
What do you need the paper for then?
Well, Mr. Schwab has his papers and he was, and I
He
have,
wasn't testifying. What,
Sure, and may I ask for clarification?
Sure.
I had just expected to give a few statements of sort of self-testimony, and then I was gonna rest. Then I would assume that if Miss St. John has a case, she will testify.
yeah,
Is
you
that-
want to do it that way? I don't care. You were called. If you had a lawyer, your lawyer could ask you questions right now. Since your lawyer can't ask you questions, you can tell me whatever you'd like to say with respect to anything that's any way remotely related to what he's asked you. If you want, and I could care less which way we do it, he can testify now. And then you can come back up and tell me your story. Do you want to do it that way or do you want to do it this way?
I want to ask Mr. Schwab a few questions.
Well, so how about so are you good with him testifying and then you cross-examining him?
Whatever will be convenient.
Well, I want you to, I want you to decide. If you want to tell me your side now, you can, and then he can testify and you can examine him, or
My story and then I ask him a few questions, right? That's what you're saying me? No,
either way, you can either ask him questions after he testifies and then come back up and tell me your story, or you can tell me your story now and then ask him questions after he testifies, whatever you'd like.
I will tell my story.
If I may make a suggestion.
Sure.
If I testify now in rest, then Miss St. John can call me as a witness in her counter complaint, and she can testify it. So it's really two separate lawsuits.
Right.
But this way, she will testify, her attorney, if she had an attorney, would have asked her questions
Questions.
about that. So I think it would be, for the sake of the record,
And expediting it.
allow me to just testify and rest, and then she could call.
It's fine with me, whatever you guys want to do. Either way, you're going to get to tell me your story and you're going to get the question here.
Have my answer to what Mr. Schwab just was asking me. Can I do that? And then I.
Yes,
Yes.
she can do that. You can do that. So I'm going to let her testify
Yeah.
and then she'll sit down. You can call yourself. She can examine you and we'll go from there.
As
Okay.
long as she understands that she can only comment or explain what I cover with her.
Well, I mean,
Okay.
she's got some leeway. This is cross. I mean, go ahead, ma'am. Tell me what you,
Let's make it simple. So I hired Mr. Schwab on December 13, 2024. The conversations on the phone that we had prior, I had multiple conversations with different attorney because I was never filed for divorce in America. I didn't know what is a proceeding, so I wanted to know how everything goes. So I was talking to few attorneys on a phone along with Mr. Schwab. And I was weighing my options. Some attorneys will be aggressive, some will tell you, oh, here is my strategies. Somebody will, have a jokes with you, and you thinking and you looking. So prior to December 13, I was talking to few attorneys and looking for the best option for me. Mr. Schwab never told me that he will charge me for any of this conversation, not just for the first one, for any of them. He didn't disclose his attorney fee. He did not explain his attorney fee. He was nice to me. He offered, he said, oh, you don't know if your husband filed for complaint. I will be in a court. I can look up. Okay, you can look up, So when I made my choice, I'm like, okay, I will hire Mr. Schwab. I came to his office on December 13, 2024, and still I was thinking, thinking how the conversation will go, what he will say. The first thing that when I came to his office, I opened my mouth, he shut my mouth. He was talking for straight 1 hour. Mr. Schwab likes his voice, and it's okay. You know, some people like to talk, and it fits his profession. The meeting was 3 hours and 40 minutes. And Mr. Schwab was talking about subjects absolutely not related to my divorce case. For example, his family, himself, his former attorneys, his former clients from Ukrainian or Russian demographics, about Trump administration, about immigration law, about stuff absolutely not related. So I was thinking he's trying to make a good impression on me, break the ice, stuff like this, okay? And then he started to explain me a divorce law. So it was another hour. And then finally, he started to talk about contract, his fees, and explain his fees. So Mr. Schwab, the reason why I decided to hire him at the end of this meeting, because I respected his experience and he assured me that he will get the best settlement for me. He said, Irina, I have tons of divorce cases. I know what to do. I know that guys like your husband. I know what they want. Just trust me. And I trusted him naturally. Because any woman or man who receives such bad news will be upset, and he looking for someone who will guide them through this process. So we signed the contract at the end of the meeting. I paid a retainer fee for the future work to be done. And I was not aware about all these prior charges. Mr. Schwab said that he will send me monthly invoices. The first invoice was February 28th. It was a day when we had a conversation about our discovery going nowhere. I was upset, and I had a thought to terminate him as my attorney.
On February 28th,
Yes.
okay?
So after this conversation, Mr. Schwab sent me an invoice within 2 hours. First invoice. I will be honest. I look at this. I just opened this. I look at the final page. I'm like, okay. I didn't even go through line by line because I was upset about, first of all, hostile conversation for almost 2 hours. I was upset that my divorce going nowhere. I felt like I'm losing my case. I felt like my attorney don't understand what we need to do, because I was asking, let's subpoena the bank records, let's proceed with something, and he's like, no, let's do appraisals for premarital houses. Now we're going toward appraisals for premarital houses because Mr. Schwab covered this topic. It's another big chunk, 6,000 with something that he overcharged me for that. So Mr. Schwab told me, I offer you 2 appraisals for these houses. Okay. He explained me premarital properties and everything, but he's a licensed attorney. He should know better. I'm not an attorney. I'm a registered nurse. Why he told appraisals to do retro value 2014? We was boyfriend and girlfriend at that time, from 2014 to 2025. So it was 2 dates. That's why this data was not admitted on my mediation, because mediator said 2014, was you married that year? No. What year it was married? 2020. He said it should be 2020 to 2025. Maybe you get something. So it was ineffective, and Mr. Schwab, as an experienced attorney, should know that. He still imposes appraisal service of his choice, Mr. Grab from Northville, Michigan, which I suggested I can hire my appraisal service. He said, no, I'm not responsible for whoever you will hire. I said, I can hire a licensed appraisal. He convinced me. Mr. Schwab is very good in convincing. He convinced me that this particular appraisal is very known to the court and judge. His data will be admitted without doubt, which was not. Also, I didn't know that Mr. Schwab will charge me for all the tons of conversation, emails, delivery of the checks, and everything in between me and mediator. I thought I will just pay for mediation service and that's it. So Mr. Schwab charged me $2,700 for his mediator work.
Well, you mean when you and your then estranged husband went to mediation, Mr. Schwab was there representing you, right?
No, it was, Mr. Schwab was terminated by that time. But I got appraisal results, reports. I got appraisal reports from appraisal service and I.
So what are you complaining about him charging you with respect to mediation? I'm not understanding that.
So my complaint is that Mr. Schwab sent me an email and said that full appraisal service will cost you $1,000. Don't be cheap, just pay it,
Okay.
and maybe you get something.
Okay,
At the end, it was $6,700, not $1,000
for the for the appraisers?
for total appraisal service. $3,570 for appraisal service, and the rest it was his emails with appraisal, call with appraisal, 3 hour and 40 minutes staying in my house and going to these houses. Which I don't understand how Mr. Schwab can justify, how you can charge legal fees for going to appraisal service. You know, these two people can operate independently. This is what they do for their living. He justifies this, oh, your husband could be hostile. If my husband would be hostile, these people will turn around and just leave. They will say, okay, we will just leave.
All right, so I want to get this straight. You're telling me that he told you it was going to be $1,000 for the appraisal
I
service?
have email.
Okay, that's fine. And then you're telling me the appraisal service costs $3,500?
Yes, because how he explained, he said, I didn't know that, but appraisal service will cost you so much money because they will do retroactive value 2014
Right,
and then 2025.
right.
So 2014 was not useful at all.
But the appraisal service actually charged you $3,500
Yes,
to appraise the 6 properties and give you a value of the property as of that date, as well as beginning from the time that you started cohabitating with
Yes.
Mr. Rizal.
yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So instead of 1,000, it was 3,570. And then when I received my second invoice after 2 days after I terminated Mr. Schwab, I got all this billing for his work, which I highlighted in my counter complaint. Was the rest of the money, it was for his.
And how much was that?
It was, actually, I don't have my papers, but it was,
I don't want you to guess.
around 2,800 or
And
3,000.
was that billing that you're referring to, the 2,800, just for Mr. Schwab to go to the appraisals?
3 hours and 40 minutes just to go for appraisal service and 3 hours and 40 minutes for his coordinated work. So 6 hour and 80 minutes or whatever, how it adds up,
How much was he charging you again?
$375
Okay,
per hour.
okay.
So that was a surprise fee for me when I received my second invoice 2 days after I terminated Mr. Schwab. So after that, I look at the rest and I've seen that I start to calculate where this all came from. And I already paid $10,000 for kids that just started, had no custody, no children, no motion files, no depositions, no meeting with the judge, no mediation. How I already paid $10,000 and I own 16 more. That's what made me to file for counter complaint. For case that was just started and financial discovery was not even finished.
So let me just ask you, how much did you pay Mr. Schwab altogether?
10,000.
And that did not include the appraisal fees, or did it?
Appraisal fees was separate, plus appraisal fees $3,750.
So you paid him and he paid the appraisal company, right?
Yes. I paid him personally 10,000 and I paid him to pay appraisal service.
$3,750.
Yes.
And you're saying for him to attend the appraisals, how much, and to coordinate that, how much did he charge you for that?
So calculate 3 hour and 40 minutes plus 3 hour and 40 minutes and times 375.
Okay, so you're at about, okay. Somewhere in the neighborhood of about 2,800, because that's, okay, so that's 7 hours, 20 minutes at 375. Okay, what else would you like to tell me?
Mr. Schwab did numerous errors, as I said, with my filing my answer to complain. Then it was filed April 15 with the court. I went to the court. I went to the 3rd District Court in Detroit, and I talked to a supervisor and a manager, with everyone, and they personally checked for me. They said, we cannot.
Your Honor, I'll object 2 grounds. Any conversation, if she had any with somebody down at the court, is hearsay. Secondly, any testimony as to strategy, work, the file.
Yeah.
That is lack of foundation. She has no.
No, they just confirmed that was no pleadings filed prior to April 15. That's only what they could tell me. They said,
Did you file, he filed the answer to complain on April 15th though, right?
he's supposed to file this on January 10.
I know, you told me that, but he did file an answer to complain at some point while he was still your lawyer, right?
And how he found out about this?
No, I wanted you to
Yes,
answer that.
he did.
Okay, so he did file it, that is a pleading, an answer to complaint, just so you know, but
But it was overdue by 123 days.
I know, but sometimes lawyers do that. They agree, listen, we'll just get to these when we can get to these. They're busy people, and he didn't harm your case by not filing that earlier because you never went into default.
But the opposing side could file a default judgment against.
I mean, I could get hit by a truck when I walk outside too. You know what I'm saying? Let's not talk about that.
Okay.
Okay, so what else do you want to tell me here?
So overcharging without my consent, appraisals, then discovery, my husband's financial statement, he never follow up, never forced opposing side to complete it properly. Interrogator is completely deficient. He charged me $2,400 for discovery, which led me to nowhere. So
When you say discovery, are you including the work on the appraisals or not?
I separate appraisals and discovery. Appraisals separate and
So
discovery.
when you refer to discovery, what are you talking about? His interrogatories to the other side?
In financial statement of my husband, that he didn't file any motion to compel them to file properly, the statement, and interrogatories, we never received interrogatories.
You never did.
While I had Mr. Schwab as my attorney, we never received the interrogatory.
From your husband's attorney.
Yes.
Correct. I got it.
I received them way after was my second attorney.
Right.
Follow up and, force them to do that. So lack of, like the Michigan court rule says, the attorney has to be diligent and jealously
You are a bright lady, you know that?
present.
You should maybe go to law school at some point, but sometimes we can read rules and not understand what's really going on in the practice. Do you understand what I'm saying? I mean, but I give you credit.
So I fired Mr. Schwab on April 14, 2025. The reason why I fired him, because we was arguing about interrogatories. I said, Mr. Schwab, file and amend them to interrogatories because they covering only houses. We need information from bank statements. He said, Irina, I will not do that because court will not allow me to do that. That's not true. So he didn't want to do that. He didn't want to look bad in front of the opposing side, court, or whatever. And I said,
You can only send 20 interrogatories.
he sent 13.
I know, but that doesn't mean you have to. Go ahead.
So I wanted him to do an addendum, few questions about his personal bank statements, CD accounts, where the big money was. He failed to do that. And I said, you know what, Mr. Schwab, we will put our relationship on hold. I'm emotional right now. You emotional. We was emotional to each other. And I said, let's put our relationship on hold. Give me a couple days to think and I get back to you. He said, okay, I have a mail confirming that. 2 hours after that, he sent an email to opposing side about missing truck, something else, and charges me another $140. Okay, so that upset me, and I'm like, you know what? I'm done with that. And I sent him a letter that I'm terminating him. He ignored this letter completely. So next day, I was sending him another letter, and he responded finally on the second letter. And he finally stopped charging me because I couldn't tolerate any more charges.
Okay. I got it. Do you want to say anything else?
And the last thing that I want to say, that I felt obligated to file a complaint to Michigan Grievance Attorney Commission because I just felt like, you know, people who gone through hard time like
They dismissed that, didn't they?
they didn't. No,
They didn't dismiss the committee.
no, they did not.
Your Honor,
I contacted the investigator, a senior, I have a letter from a senior representative of Michigan Grievance Attorney Commission, and I said, I have a trial on such and such date. Can I get some updates, maybe something? And he said, my investigation is still going due to complexity of the case and numbers of incidents.
Okay.
Your Honor, if this court believes it got a lot of paper, the attorney grievance has to have a foot. Again, they have done nothing, zero. Because as, you know, that's probably true. I mean, what she has filed is beyond comprehension. But that is going nowhere because a grievance, as you know, this is a dispute over fees. It's not sex. It is not the other thing, stealing property. It's-
I understand. Okay. I get it. What else do you want to tell me?
Well, talking about sex, Mr. Schwab, on his first meeting, when we were signing the contract, made a remark, and I included this in counter complaint too, Celeste's comment. He told me that I know men as like your husband, and he will accuse you to having sex with me, which I looked at Mr. Schwab, and I don't want to say nothing about anything, but I said, I don't think so. This is what I told him. And he said, oh, you want to tell me that I'm too old for you? He repeated this comment a few times during our 3 other meetings.
Okay.
That's it, Your Honor.
All right. Why don't you have a seat?
Your Honor, I would like to
At its core, this case isn't about whether divorce is hard. It's about whether legal representation crossed the line from strategy into excess. The court heard detailed testimony about billing practices, discovery decisions, appraisal costs, and communication breakdowns. While the judge clearly distinguishes between unethical conduct and fee disputes, the broader takeaway is undeniable. Transparency matters, expectations matter, and legal fees can spiral fast when trust breaks down. Whether you see this as overbilling or misunderstood advocacy likely depends on where you sit, client or counsel. Backhand index pointing right if you found this case as shocking as we did.